The Arabic language, one of the most spoken languages in the world behind English, Mandarin, Hindi, Spanish, and French. With over 300 million speakers, Arabic serves as the symbol of Arab nationality. It is also the sacred language of Islam. Today, followers of Islam constitute the world's second largest religious group with an estimated 1.8 billion followers. Roughly 24% of the world's population identify themselves as Muslims. That's 1 in every 4 humans on Earth. Islam is the official religion in 26 countries in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. It is said that Arabic belongs to the Semitic family of languages, which also includes Hebrew, Aramaic, and Phoenician. But what if Arabic had an older, more ancient root? In this episode of The Ancient Ways, we will reveal the hidden origins of the Arabic language using Sanskrit, the code of the gods. When were the major languages established? To provide a perspective, let's take a look at this timeline, from the newest to the oldest. Let's trace it back. Old English appeared at around the 5th century, Arabic in the 1st century. German language dates back to the 1st century BC. Biblical Hebrew dates to about 1000 BC. Latin, 1200 BC. Greek, 1400 BC. Proto-Semitic, 4000 BC. Egyptian, based on the date of the pyramids, 10,000 BC. Sanskrit, on the other hand, is even older if we take into account its relationship with the Sphinx and the pyramids. If so, then Sanskrit existed even before the Sphinx and the pyramids were built. You can see this in our other episode. So clearly, Sanskrit predates Arabic, Aramaic, and Hebrew by far, earlier by thousands of years. So is it within the realm of possibility that Semitic languages came from Sanskrit? We will present the data. First, to understand what Semitic languages are, we have to define what the word Semite means. The dominant online search says this. This information is dated and incorrect. So is this. The word Semite is thousands of years old and goes beyond ethnicity, geography, and culture. The word Semite comes from the Sanskrit word samhita, meaning union, connection, and in agreement. We can break this down further into the words sama and hita. So Semite or samhita means sharing the same interests and concerns for the benefit and welfare of all. This is the root of the Hebrew word shmita and the English word same and summit, where the peak of a mountain converges. Samhita is also used in the term peace summit, where politicians come to an agreement. Much like the concept of the United Nations, where members would meet and come together to reach an agreement on terms, whether they pertain to trade, territories, or laws. You see, Samhita is an inclusive word, not a divisive one. And yet, what do we see today? This is so because we've lost the true spirit of Samhita. Being a Semite means being a uniter of mankind, supportive of brotherhood. Religion is Samhita. You know, religion is not meant to build walls that divide the hearts of men. Instead, religion is meant to break down the walls that surround the hearts of men. Religion has no family. It is a river that nourishes all in its path. Religion does not discriminate. This is its true meaning in Sanskrit. To know what Arabic is, we need to know what the word Arab means. A search across various dictionaries generally says Arabs are a member of an Arabic-speaking people who inhabit the Arabian Peninsula. Doesn't this seem a bit inadequate to you? By this definition, Arab simply means a description of a people, its language, and its geography without explaining its philosophical essence. If you try to look deeper at what the word Arab really means, chances are you will find no answers. Therefore, we have much to unearth. You see, in the ancient days and in the ancient ways, every word had a meaning. Nothing was random. Each word was energized and ordained with its own CPS, or cymatophonic signature. Our goal is to restore the understanding of words down to their core to enhance our understanding of our history, our lives on earth, our duties to God and one another. For the first time, we are going to reveal the true source of the Arabic language using Sanskrit, the mother of languages. But before we proceed, I highly recommend watching the core episodes and the other episodes that came before this in order to have a better grasp of the logic behind this material. Viewing the core episodes will equip you with the fundamental knowledge necessary to make this and future episodes easier to understand. Let us begin with a prayer for peace and enlightenment. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let's start with some basic Arabic words. I, referring to the self, is called Ana in Arabic. In Sanskrit, Ana means respiration and breath, while the root an means to live and to move. Its related cymatophonic signature, or CPS, is the word anati, or sound. Notice how the Sanskrit root an, and in this case anna, describes all the components necessary for life and consciousness to exist within the self. The body, after all, is made of atoms, the building blocks of the physical universe. These atoms of matter and time are called anu in Sanskrit, which eventually becomes anna in Arabic, and the article an in English, as in an object or an event. Related to the atom of time, we get the words annus in Latin, anio in Spanish, and an in French. All these words mean year or annual. Can you see the connections? In the Tagalog language, the word anyo means form, which is an atom of matter, similar to the word anyong in Korean, a greeting acknowledging the presence of another form, another atomic, living, breathing, moving, self-conscious being, which is you. Now, hold that thought. Are you beginning to see how Sanskrit works? Here we have shown the root of an and its various transliterations to Arabic, English, Latin, Spanish, French, Tagalog, and Korean. Let's not forget that Sanskrit is the oldest liturgical language. It is the nexus, the core that springs an interlocking lattice that connects thought and expression into vibrational realities we call words and meaning. Now, bear with me. We haven't even scratched the surface yet. Let's talk about you, which is ant, inta, and inti in Arabic. Its equivalent in Sanskrit is anta, anti, and anti. Now check this. Aren't you a presence who is opposite me, who is close, is like me, yet is not me? From anta and anti, we get the words and, meaning together, which is und in German. Now, let me remind you that words that sound the same share the same CPS. Therefore, they share a common intention. Is it any wonder then that the words and, anti, and und is where we get the word aunt, which means someone who is very near to your mother, an extension, if you will. This is a very good example of CPS and how the word aunt, antica, and antique are related by their underlying intention. The word anti, or opposite, is likewise related. Another word is interior, which means being in the midst of. This brings us back full circle to inta, inti, ant, anu, anna, and unt. It's all just a matter of pronunciation, isn't it? But the roots stem from one language, Sanskrit. Here are more examples of Arabic words that have come from Sanskrit. The word darshana in Sanskrit, which means philosophy and seeing, becomes the Arabic word for lessons and studying, which is darsun and dirasatu. Now, this is relevant because this sets a precedent towards self-inquiry, meaning the greatest lessons to be learned are those questions about the self and the nature of reality. The word for self in Arabic comes from the Sanskrit word dhatu, meaning a constituent or component of. This becomes the word al-dhatu. At this point, I hope we've established a clear and precise linkage of the etymology of Arabic words to Sanskrit. So in line with questioning of identity and self, the time has come to answer the question, what defines an Arab? What does the word Arab mean? To discover its true root and meaning, let us first examine the negative prefix a, which, when placed in front of a word like shanti, meaning peace, becomes ashanti, which means restlessness, no peace. In Sanskrit, the color white is shveta. Adding the negative prefix a makes it ashveta, or in Arabic, aswad, which is not white, or in this case, black. Similarly, if we take the word rabhyate, rab, which is to be grasped or clasped, we can clearly see its intent of possession, materialism, want, desire, and attachment. Adding a negates all of this into an intention of release and non-attachment. Ergo, we get the word Arab. Now, I know for a fact that most Sanskrit purists will disagree with this. However, what we are trying to prove is that Sanskrit is greater than just remaining in the realm of Sanskrit. If it is truly the mother of languages and the language of God, then it should transcend all languages, should it not? And that is what we are trying to prove here with our adaptive hybrid nirukta called adhinividyati, a method that pierces through various languages, revealing its true intention according to its cymatophonic signature or vibrational energy. We know that everything is vibration. Energy is vibration. Light and sound is vibration. May I suggest looking into the groundbreaking experiments of Dr. Masaru Emoto and how consciousness, intentions, vibrations, and words affect the crystal formations within the structure of water. Kind words form beautiful crystals, while hateful words create distorted formations. There are many critics to these experiments, calling them non-scientific, non-peer-reviewed. However, as of late, experiments in quantum entanglement and topological geometrodynamics are revealing things and events that are bringing us closer to a unified field of understanding. This is something that the ancients already knew. Just look into the word cymatics. Let's not forget that up to 60% of the body is water, and thus we are affected the same way by intent and vibrations, which have been encoded into the divine language of Sanskrit. Vibrations and intention are the building blocks of what is perceived as quote-unquote reality. Therefore, be careful what you say and think. Words can heal, and words can kill. So choose wisely. Back to the word Arab. A related word is rabhas, violence. So negating that means non-violent. A related CPS is Arvan, meaning horse. Arvan also means one of the 10 horses of the moon. Since most of the travel along the ancient desert trade routes were done largely at night because of the scorching heat during daytime, navigation depended upon the position of the moon and the stars. The moon thus represents the guidance of God through the dark and uncertain roads of life. That's why it is included as a symbol in several Islamic flags. Speaking of moon, in Arabic, the word is qamar. Its Sanskrit root is kamara, which denotes desire. The moon is beautiful and has been used in countless references as a complement to beautiful objects and people. Also, it is in the evening when husband and wife retire to the chambers for privacy, which is where we get the Latin camera, which is a vaulted room or chamber. Yes, it is also that camera, a device that is chambered against the light. And isn't the moon vaulted from the sun? Interesting connections, for sure. And if you're thinking this is related to the Kama Sutra, then you're correct. Kama means a sensual desire. And the Kama Sutra is an ancient Sanskrit text dealing with matters of practical sexuality, courtship, desire, conduct, proper management of relationships, and sexual health. Since the moon has different phases, its crescent moon phase has come to be the origin of the Latin word for lobster, which is camarus, and the Spanish camarón, which is not only shaped like the moon, but also highly desired for its culinary flavor, thus related to kama. We can also note that lobsters and shrimps are vaulted, enclosed in their own protective chambers. Another aspect of kamar is related to kamari, which is a sort of pyrite that emits sparks when struck by metal. Also, the appearance of pyrite is deceptively similar to that of a gold nugget. Its glitter and shine is another reason why in Arabic the moon is called kamar. The Sanskrit word shamsa means invocation and praise. Shams is the name given to the sun in Arabic. Why? Simple, because the sun is a creation of God and is certainly a part of God. Without the sun, all life on earth will cease to exist. This is why the sun is praiseworthy, is it not? This Shamsa, or Al-Shams, is the same Mesopotamian sun god Shamash that faced Hammurabi, which is immortalized in the Hammurabi stele. This is another type of mashabut, as you know by now, the root of the word mazbut in both Arabic and Urdu, which finds its ultimate source in the Sanskrit Mashavata, which is where the word massive comes from, denoting magnificent power. Is there more information to support the Sanskrit and Hindu roots of the Akkadian Empire? The evidence is undeniable, such as what we see here with the victory stele of Naram-Sin of Akkad. This dates back to approximately 2254 BC in the time of the Akkadian Empire and is now at the Louvre Museum in Paris. The stele comes with cuneiform writings in Akkadian and Elamite. However, its name Naram-Sin of Akkad is taken from Narasimha, who was a Hindu deity seen here springing out of a stone pillar to defend a young boy from religious persecution by putting his demon king father Hiranyakashipu to death. Narasimha is the fourth avatar of Lord Vishnu, who came long before the time of Parashurama and Lord Rama. This dates back to about 7,600 years before present according to modern astronomical sky simulation software, leading us to conclude that the Hindu god Narasimha has a minimum age of 5,600 BC, which makes it twice as old as the stela of Naram-Sim of Akkad. If correct, this shows that the Akkadian rulers were influenced by the original Hindu god Narasimha, the fierce avatar of the Hindu god Vishnu, who incarnates in the form of part lion and part man to restore dharma on earth by putting the demon king to death. In Arabic, death is mautu. It comes from the Sanskrit word mrityu, which denotes death and disease, which is why we see the root mr in words like murder, mok, muerto, smelt, mireo, mortem, etc., etc. Maradon, which is disease in Arabic, and the Spanish mierda, also come from the same root mr, which is an expression of suffering, ill fortune, and general displeasure. And since death and disease are an inseparable part of human life, we can see another connection through the CPS Mavate. Mautu Mavate. Don't forget that the only guarantee in this life is death, something that the human body is fastened and attached to. Inevitable and inescapable. Physical death. Interesting connections, right? If you wish to take a break, now might be a good time to do so. Please take a moment to absorb the information, as it can be overwhelming. Don't worry, we'll still be here. We'll see you when you return. The Quran is the sacred scripture of Islam. Before we decode the Quran, first let's decode the word Islam. Take a look at this chart. All these words, Muslim, Salam, Ma Salam, Salim, even the Hebrew word Shalom and the English place Salem, all these words share the same linkages to the roots sh, s, la, and ma. These are all letters found in the word Islam. Shala and lam means to rejoice and delight in knowing one is safe, unharmed, and at peace while being sheltered in a house. So what is Islam in Adhini Vidyati Nirukta? Islam is a combination of Isha, Shala, Lam. So Islam refers to the religion, practice, and beliefs of the community who find delight, refuge, salvation, and peace by dwelling in the house of the most powerful and by surrendering to the laws and teachings of the most powerful God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Sanskrit, this is the equivalent translation one-to-one. Allah, Subha, Ana, Ahu, Vata, Allah. If we conjugate this, we get Allah, Subhanahu, Vata, Allah. So this is a wish, a desire to invoke the highest, brightest, most excellent, auspicious, and welfare-giving supreme sovereign ruler. Here we can see that the definitions in Sanskrit are very specific and has no conflict with the existing definition in Arabic. Take a look at several more words. Decoding the Quran. Religions are like jewels in the necklace of God. They adorn the wearer with sublime value and eminence. I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the presentation and found value in its meaning. Stay tuned as we uncover more mysteries in future episodes of The Ancient Ways. Namaste and peace to all.